आज अगर आप मेरे को बोलो कि सब छोड़ दो और फिर से शुरू करो, आई थिंक दैट विल बी इवन मोर एक्साइटिंग.
It happened to me yesterday. I spoke to a friend and I was like, oh, he was like, oh yeah, I'm looking at markets and this. I was like, do you do trading as well? No, 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 I don't do trading.
What is the difference? Let's also start with the difference between trading and investment, because to a normal person, they might be the same things.
So I think end of the day we are solving for traders. In one line, I would say we are trying to make trading hassle free. So if somebody is making money, obviously there's somebody who's losing also, right?
What was the biggest fear that you had to curb?
So I think when you're starting out, there's not much that you have, where as per the survey, 93% of traders have lost money in the last 2 to 3 years.
One of my friends came to me. He's like, Akhil, I played a butterfly spread on an options contract. Okay. I said, you use 4 words. Explain to me what that means. He's like, भाई मुझे नहीं पता, YouTube वीडियो देखी थी, उसमें उसने बोला ये खरीद ले, ये बेच दे, ये कर दे, ये कर दे, मैंने कर दिया and everything was good. 5 days later he comes to me, भाई सब डूब गया. Can Stocko provide me with some tools which would help me think one level deeper?
So I think what we are doing here is three things. One, obviously we are,
What made you take the leap to start Stocko?
going back say maybe 30 years. My father has been a broker since the early 90s. आपने वो गुरु पिक्चर देखी होगी, उसमें वो आउटक्राई प्लेटफॉर्म होता है. So Delhi Stock Exchange में they used to go on in a ring. That's a ring, what you call. We have this 10% profit sharing in our business, where 10% of the profits are sort of shared with the whole team year on year.
What is that one thing you would suggest that you have done that you would suggest to anyone who wants to get into trading to do so that they can get rid of that fear?
I feel the only way to sort of overcome fear is to
If you think trading is just the art of buying low and selling high, you could not be more wrong. Shre, the founder of Stocko, decided to pull back the curtains from trading right here on our podcast, both as a trader and now as a broker. By the way, stick till the end for a special gift. So Shre, you took your family business from 36 lakhs in revenue to X 100 crores in revenue. Why are we sitting here? What's the point of us here?
I think idea is to sort of reminisce about the journey, and also I think more than the numbers, the learnings have been great, and it's been lots of ups and downs. It's been like a roller coaster ride. um, I think I always feel you have to become the person first, and then you sort of build a business with those kind of numbers where what you're looking at. एंड आज अगर आप मेरे को बोलो कि सब छोड़ दो और फिर से शुरू करो, आई थिंक दैट विल बी इवन मोर एक्साइटिंग. बट ऑब्वियसली वील स्टार्ट फ्रॉम एक्सपीरियंस एंड lot many tools which probably we didn't have when I started out.
So if a viewer is watching this and they watch this till the end, what can they expect to come away with? Why should they not take their eyes off?
So not trying to sell or anything, but I feel there's always something to learn from journey of every entrepreneur. It's unique in its own way. Um and personally, I feel I've learned more listening to other people's journey. You need not frankly reinvent the wheel, right? अभी औरों ने कर लिया है तो उससे सीखो, आगे बढ़ो, and build on top of that. So yeah.
I remember being told this as a kid that a normal person is who learns from their own mistakes. A smart man is someone who learns from others' mistakes. How do you know about others' mistakes if you don't listen to others, na?
Yeah, agreed.
So I think that any human being who's ever ventured into the space of investments ever heard the names Warren Buffett, right? They Mark Cuban, they start thinking, what is this investment? Right? Personally, even when my family was having trouble in their business earlier in my life, I came across investments. And then I came across this term called trading, right? And trading by itself, when you get into like masters of finance, when you get into deep education, it is a taboo. They're like, trading is bad, trading is evil. But I feel that people need to like put away their phones, people need to put away everything else and focus on this video to try and understand why it might not be, why the messaging of the world might not be true. Because you yourself have built this amazing company and it is built around trading and you started off as a trader. So I want to get into Shre. I want to get into who is Shre, why is Shre, and what exactly are you doing at Stocko?
So I think end of the day we are solving for traders. In one line, I would say we are trying to make trading hassle free, um, and sort of also change the um, uh, some bit of hesitation I see people have, or fear that they have, when it comes to trading. Um, I think I see trading as a life skill. Um, I think everybody should try their hands on to trading. In the end, or kuch nahi to at least they would know a lot more about themselves, their emotions, what they feel, how they react in certain situations, and they will grow as a person. So I think and also whatever sphere of life you're in a job, business, uh, to have an idea about your finances, how to put your money to work for you, is something that everybody needs to understand, especially in today's world.
Yeah, Shrey, let's get to this point of what Akhil said, that trading is considered taboo. Investment, not at all. Everyone is asking, oh, where should we put our money? Where should we invest? Oh, what are you doing? What are you thinking? People are on TV channels all day. People are on the news all day scrolling, trying to find out, what new information has come out. How can they invest? How can they make more money? However, I feel when you mention the word trading, it's like it's everyone's like, oh no, 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 no. This is not, this is, it's like Voldemort. It's like he who should not be named.
Mhm.
Why is it that? Like, it happened to me yesterday. I spoke to a friend and I was like, oh, he was like, oh yeah, I've been looking at the markets and this. I was like, do you do trading as well? No, 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 no. I don't do trading.
Mm.
What is this? Why does this reaction come through?
What is
I
the
think
what is the difference? Let's also start with the difference between trading and investment, because to a normal person they might be the same things.
so. Okay, so I think trading versus investing. Investment is where you sort of invest in a company after looking at the fundamentals, the industry, and the future prospects. And the company grows in terms of numbers, and so does the stock price, and you make money out of it, right, over a medium to a longer term sort of a duration. Trading is, I would say, short term. It's to benefit from the price change, maybe because maybe there is some institutional buying or selling happening, their results have come out, there is some news related to that sector or stock, or there is some macro event that has happened, like a war, or political government change or something, which essentially, due to the liquidity, supply and demand into the market, the price changes. So uh, and there is, believe me, there is a lot of money to be made there. Now, uh, talking about trading being a little taboo, especially in the Indian sense. See, trading is a zero sum game. Money is not being created, nor is it being destroyed. It's changing hands. So if somebody is making money, obviously there's somebody who's losing also, right? Having said that, growing up, especially uh, you, we Indians are very influenced by Bollywood movies. Any new tourist location, that is pictured in a movie, suddenly all Indians would flock to it. Similarly, I have seen, in Bollywood movies, there's this typical scene where, there's this guy who has lost money, and if you ask him or her, and it's like, अरे वो शेयर मार्केट में पैसा लगाया था, सब डूब गया. So I think the whole image that has been built over the years, has not been very conducive. However, I feel there has been a changing point, especially 2020 COVID, right? Before that, if you ask me who's a trader, तो लोग कहते हैं यार ये there's this guy who sits at home, does nothing, टीवी देखता रहता है और कंप्यूटर पे कुछ करता रहता है, and that's how you sort of defined a trader. I think post 2020 trading has really, people have identified trader as a full time profession. अभी कुछ तो थोड़ा रिस्पेक्ट मिल रहा है, I feel. And I can tell you that they are the smartest people out there, yeah, to be able to make money in the market. लोगों को सिंपल लगता है, uh, to be able to control your greed and fears and be profitable on an ongoing basis. It takes a lot of practice. It's quite a challenging thing, but I think trading now, people are accepting that it requires learning. It is a profession that one can get into, maybe part time or full time. And I see the whole space evolving. I mean, in terms of numbers, we had not more than 30 to 40 lakh serious traders before COVID. That number, I think, has gone up to about 1.5 to 2 CR. So yeah.
Shrey, you mentioned trading, you mentioned getting to know yourself, you mentioned, Abhi, that you have to curb your greed and your fears. What was the biggest fear that you had to curb?
So I think when you're starting out, there's not much that you have, to lose. It's once you build some wealth and scale, you become a little protective of what you have. So I would say, I mean, for me, I mean, nothing to fear as such, but yes, when you are in a family setup and you're trying to do something out of the box, then obviously you have a lot of people to sort of answer to. I mean, I would obviously give that to my parents. They've sort of let me experiment, do my own thing, but end of the day, you were answerable somewhere. So that always I had that back of my mind. Yeah.
I want to go back to investment versus trading, right? Because this is a very, very core topic of discussion, right? Why it is so important is because investment is the most sold thing right now. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risk, right? But nobody is coming out and saying trading is subject to market risk. Traders just are. The information is just bleak. Like I say options, I say futures, mind goes to rust. Everybody's like, what the hell is he talking about? Most people don't even know what profit means, right? So it's like, holy crap, but there's no information anywhere. My fear, my deepest desire to make money collide with each other, and somewhere in the middle, I am like, chodo yaar, property le lete. Right? And we don't see all the hassle that's involved in properties, all the transaction risks involved in properties. We call that an investment. We end up buying a house and then living in the house and then, praying to the house. Then we lose everything in life and we think investment is bad. What is trading? What is it?
So to give you a context, there is now information that in terms of numbers, the regulator has clearly come out and said, they did a survey. SEBI had done a survey where, as per the survey, 93% of traders have lost money in the last 2 to 3 years, right? So if you ask me, I feel, इस सर्वे से पहले everybody used to think everybody is losing money in trading. At least now 7% people are making money. So that's a positive. Uh, Having said that, very interestingly, this is a survey that was conducted with individual accounts, And what usually happens is once a trader becomes profitable, they sort of either, they scale up their capital, and they either forms LLPs, or they form a private or a limited company, and they start trading in those. So all the profitable traders move to that angle, and they get pushed out of this 100%, right? So still I feel out of say a crore people who trade, 7 lakh of them are profitable. I think that's a good number. If you ask me, you compare this to any other aspect, IIT coaching, IIT engineering वगैरह कर लो, medical, anywhere, I feel CA for that matter, not more than 1% of people are successful, not even 1%. मतलब so many students enroll every year, they pay fee, they put in as much time, and I think their time, the opportunity cost is huge, right? So, and still not more than 1%. So I think numbers in trading are quite, when this is a generic law, I feel, anybody who's successful, you have to be top of the game. So 7% is something I can personally live with. Yeah.
It's a very interesting outlook, Shrey, because usually when you say na 7% of something is working and 93 is not working, the expected reaction is, oh, only 7% is working. Hi, hi. This perspective that you're giving, that, okay, yes, the cream rises to the top.
I mean, how many startups are successful, right? So yeah, so I think that one has to have a perspective. You can't have 100 people, 100% people making money in trading, right? Or any other sphere in life.
I have a different view on this. I feel when you say how many startups are successful, right? And then we go to an event. Let's say we go to that Bharat Mandapam Mahakumbh Startup Mahakumbh thing. You'll come across 1,000 startups. Okay, a lot of them are not looking at a customer centric point of view. They are looking at my product is awesome and it will sell, even though the product doesn't have a product market fit, right? The point here is that lack of information makes you automatically fall in the bucket of failure. When you're talking about trading, one of my friends came to me. He's like, Akhil, I played a butterfly spread on an options contract. Okay. I said, you used 4 words. Explain to me what that means. He's like, भाई मुझे नहीं पता, यूट्यूब वीडियो देखी थी, उसमें उसने बोला ये खरीद ले, ये बेच दे, ये कर दे, ये कर दे, मैंने कर दिया, and everything was good. 5 days later he comes to me, भाई सब डूब गया. I was like, you don't even know what it means, right? So he automatically put himself in a bucket where somebody else is making the judgments for him. But he's a trader now, a qualified trader. What is your opinion on a starting point? How do I start so that I am more likely to fall in that 7% bucket?
How did you start, for that matter?
So, I mean, for somebody who wants to start, I feel, like, you become a doctor or you become an engineer. First, you try and learn the tricks of the trade, right? You have to go through a theoretical as well as that practical implementation, where you learn a bit, you sort of implement that in practical and learn more from it, and gradually you become more confident about it. So I think it's very similar in trading. Maybe start with one or two strategies. Uh, you know, put in more time to understand. In different market situations, how your trade is going. In terms of whether is it profitable, are you making a loss, where exactly are you, and are you able to sort of, how you feel about the trade. That's also very important. What sort of emotions are going, and then slowly steadily, you will understand that uh, you know one, you have to define your comfort zone. Second, you have to sort of understand, like in life, what kind of trader you are. If you are able to figure these things out, I think trading, 6 months, all technicals you will learn. Any trader, I can tell you, would learn all the technical stuff there is to learn about trading. The success in trading comes not from the strategy, but how you look at it and how comfortable you are with it. So I feel that is an aspect that is not spoken about as much. There are enough and more content. There is enough and more content on YouTube, maybe, where they will say 3 strategies, to be profitable in trading. uh, the Brahmastra indicator and all of the, I think that is important. Yes, technically you have to know things, but more than that, it's more psychological. You have to understand yourself and how you respond to different situations, and become strong in terms of handling yourself in those situations. So also I feel, like starting up, अभी इंडिया में इतना बज है स्टार्टिंग अप का, आपने कोई वीडियो देखा एंड यू सडनली फील इंस्पायर्ड एंड यू सॉर्ट ऑफ जंप इनटू अ creating a startup. 6 months down the line you realize, yeah, this is lot of hard work, and this is not for me. I want to be a little comfortable in life here, and maybe you move on to a job, right? So I think people who are at it for quite some time, and they have that never say die attitude, and they go on and on, how will success evade you? यार कहीं ना कहीं तो मिलेगी ना,
वो
आएगी.
वो कहते हैं ना कि there's always more than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like you're saying, that every, in fact, yesterday I was having a conversation with my grandfather. My grandfather plays bridge for India, and we were having some conversation around bridge, and he's like, every single hand, every single thing that is, you give it to 5 people, they will play it 10 different ways.
Hmm.
And I was like, yeah, that parallel can be drawn for a lot of things. Similarly, what you're trying to say, that when you want to become a trader, you have to understand yourself, what kind of trader you want to be before
Hmm.
you know what you're going to do. That's when you're going to be truly successful. My question here is that until you get to that point, you have to put in the reps so that you know enough that you can become, Acha, I am X kind of trader or Y kind of trader. Or if I look at the bridge example, I'm going to play the hand in this way or that. I have to have that much knowledge.
Hmm.
I have to have put in that many hours, that many reps. So, how do you get to that? When you were starting, when you started, how did you get to that?
So okay, so again, taking an example from the startup world, everybody would push you to think big. I personally, I feel, you should think small. um, Whenever you have a brilliant idea and you feel this will change the world, just go out and test it out. Maybe in a small geography or with a certain set of number of people. Think very very small, create a prototype out of it where you see that this is successful among a small audience. You'll be able to get feedback, improvise on the product or slash service, whatever you're offering. You will get to know your consumer better. What are the pain points, what are the requirements like? Once you sort of mastered that, then you move on to other geographies, to expansion. You can maybe raise some funds, put in more money, and because you've seen that being successful with a smaller set, you'll be way more confident. So similarly in trading, I feel, you start with very simple strategies. You don't have to make it the simplest strategies work the best. Start with very simple strategy. Test it out, different market conditions. Once you feel that, this is something that I have mastered, this is working for me, then you sort of add more strategies to it. You then scale your capital. Start small. I mean, I think that's the best.
So, again, taking this question forward, when we look at startups or when we look at companies, we usually say, okay, you get to a certain mark, that's when you know you're successful monetarily, number of sales. Up to you what you want to define. Right? You want to look at okay, I'm going to make $1 million and then I'm going to try something else. Or when I make $1 million, I know this thing is working. How can you say you're confident of a strategy? What is a benchmark that you put for yourself when you look at a strategy, when you're saying try the basics, test them out, once you are confident, move on? Is there a metric that you use?
So, for any strategy, I'll share an example. So markets, there's an option to backtest your strategy. You don't essentially have to put the strategy into the market, lose some money, and then maybe realize, this is not working. So you can backtest your strategy. Um, Personally, a lot of strategies I have seen would have a 40 to 60 win loss ratio, right? 40% of the times you'll make money, 60%, 60 percent you'll lose. But uh, still, net you could be profitable. Why? Because when you're making a profit, you're making higher profits, and when you're cutting your losses, in the sense that the number of times you're making a loss, the amount is smaller. So this is called position sizing in market. So I'm just saying, you कोई भी strategy पकड़ लो, test it out for a longer period of time, implement that in the market with a small amount, and you'll realize probably in 100 days that yeah, this is something that is working. If you want, you can test it out further across different market cycles. And uh, to give you a reference point, the biggest, the most successful traders in the world have sort of made a 18 to 20% annualized return over a number of years. So if you are able to make that kind of return on an ongoing basis, I mean, rest assured, people will talk about you. History will remember you. आपका नाम किताबों में लिखा जाएगा. So I mean, that is the benchmark. Anything between 10 to 12%, I think, is a good return to start with, and gradually, slowly, you can sort of scale it up. The idea initially is not to focus on generating higher return, but to be profitable on an ongoing basis, and to sort of understand, how the trading universe works.
Yeah, Nassim Taleb, he's one of my favorite authors. Okay, and he was an options trader, made a lot of money in the market. And after that, he retired, became a professor, started writing these books. He wrote a book called Black Swan. So, Black Swan is something that the world didn't believe exists. And then one day, somebody found a black swan, and it became true. What he says is, let's say something has a 1% chance of success. So, let's say you buy an option, and there is a 1% chance that it's just gonna go 100x. Cool? 1% by itself means 1 in 100, which means you got to make 100 trades, and you might get that one shot where you 100x your money. Okay, are you in the position that you can ever make 100x your money? That is the question he asks in the book. Why it's relevant? Let's say you start a job. In the job, you start as base level, let's call it analyst, intern, XYZ, whatever a company chooses to call it. Now, the best outcome that person can have is they can become the CEO of the firm. Okay, that's like the ultimate outcome, or they can become a partner, or whatever the highest position is called. Cool? Cool. If there is a 10% chance that my business is going to succeed, because 90 out of 100 startups fail, I have to open 10 startups to figure out how startups work, and eventually one will succeed. And the one that will succeed will just blow it out of the park, because 10% chance startup is successful, and success is defined by huge money in startups, right? If I'm a trader, I need to get into trades where the upside is so high and the downside is I lose my options premium. Okay. What stops me from trading is something that we call risk, right? Risk is the probability of me losing my money. In a job, people don't see opportunity cost, as you said. Opportunity cost being what else could I have done? But in a business, when nobody else is giving me regular income, which Nicholas Taleb, he calls it cocaine. He calls it worse addiction than cocaine, which is a monthly salary, right? He says that because I'm not getting that, I feel my risk is enormous. So I want to get into this discussion. What is the real risk between being in a job, investing, trading, and starting a business?
How you look at it. If you ask me, I'm happy maybe making less money in my business or less money trading, uh, but I am not in for a job. So it's also how you want to live your life, right? So I mean, we've spoken about the risks in trading. I would also want to highlight the pros. you can be anywhere and you can trade. My my brother trades for a living, and believe me, he's traveling or he's living out of Airbnbs maybe 6 months out of an year. I envy that. Obviously, running a day-to-day business which is as operationally intensive does not allow me to do that. I have kids, but I'm just saying, you are your own boss. And I'm not saying, I'm not trying to sort of exemplify trading here, but yes, there are some perks to being a trader. So that's a very personal call that one needs to take, what kind of life they want to live. Yeah. Talking about risk, in trading, हमारा जो thumb rule, what we say is, since you spoke about starting up 100 times, and maybe 1% is the chance that you'll be very successful. We make sure that we don't lose one more than 1% of our capital in any trading day, right?
And that is the caveat that he states. He says, "Don't die."
Because if you don't have if you lose all your chips, then you don't have more chips to play. So
You have to have a seat at the table to have a chance to win.
yeah, absolutely.
Sure, a lot of people, especially in the investment context, talk about this whole 80-20 rule. People talk about it in life. Have you seen it applied to trading?
So like I mentioned, I mean, it's a bit skewed here, as per data shared by the regulators. It's more like 93 and 7. um, but I think, usually, like anything in life, that proportions always apply.
Yeah, I feel markets are always a tool to push money from the less informed to the more informed. If it is a zero sum game and I know that you are going to start thinking that, oh, this is going to happen, so I need to do this, and I can think just one level deeper than you, then I win.
Yeah.
Can Stocko provide me with some tools which would help me think one level deeper?
So I think what we are doing here is three things. Um, One, obviously, we have a good, stable, robust trading platform, and very reasonable pricing, for especially for traders. But over and above, I think one, something we've really worked on is knowledge sharing. So we do these podcasts, webinars uh, with star traders, and not to sort of understand their strategy, but try and see what kind of journey they have had. And believe me, all of these traders have had multiple instances where they have sort of thought of leaving trading, going away, doing something else, but still, they went on and became successful traders. So um, I think learning from their journey, and inspiring more traders to sort of come on board, uh, learn from them, get inspired, is something uh, we are really excited about. Also, I feel trading is a very lonely profession. आपके अलग ही दुनिया में आप चल रहे हो. So for traders to sort of see and learn from other profitable traders, is I myself have learned so much. So I feel people should really follow some traders, have take them as mentors, and they will learn a lot of things from that.
Shrey, what made you take the leap? You were a trader. You were working wherever you were working by yourself or at somewhere else. What made you take the leap to start Stocko?
So I think I saw an opportunity. My going back, say, maybe 30 years, my father has been a broker since the early 90s. आपने वो गुरु पिक्चर देखी होगी, उसमें वो आउटक्राई प्लेटफॉर्म होता है. सो दिल्ली स्टॉक एक्सचेंज में दे यूज्ड टू गो ऑन इन अ रिंग, दैट्स अ रिंग व्हाट यू कॉल, एंड बोली लगती थी. दैट्स हाउ यूज्ड टू बाय एंड सेल शेयर्स. From that to sort of starting his own brokerage, where they used to cater to some HNI corporate clients. Uh, Fast forward, I mean, growing up, you've always market was something of a dinner table conversation, right? I think somewhere it was in the blood. So after engineering, I worked for Ericsson for some time, and then I came into trading. Um and one of my friends was visiting me from the US. He mentioned that there are a lot of discount brokers, so as you say, who have fixed plans, and that's the model that's very successful over there. Why don't you try this in India? So I did some research, and I saw that there could be a market for this, and maybe one or two odd brokers had started out. They were in the very initial phase. So I mean I took the leap. And interestingly, at that point in time, there we used to offer traders a desk in our office. That was a time where uh, traders used to come to the broker's office, and they were given a system um, at a fixed cost per day, which was 1000 rupees for us. And they were given limits to trade, and whatever money that they made end of the day was sort of credited to them. That is the experience I think we took online. So we started out with a 999 monthly plan, where you could trade unlimited. And funny enough, at that point in time, where uh, there was a system of percentage brokerage. Traders used to end up paying say 50,000 to 1 lakh rupees in monthly brokerage, and we were charging 999. तो सब यही पूछते, एंड वी स्टार्टेड ऑन April 1st. तो पहले तो लोग पूछते थे यार क्या अप्रैल फुल बना रहे हो, एंड व्हाट काइंड ऑफ स्कैम इज दिस, क्या आप पैसा लेके तो नहीं भाग जाओगे. So these were the FAQs that we had. Slowly, steadily, obviously, we gained confidence. I remember the first 1,000 clients we got on board ourselves. We used to sort of log in the morning, punch in orders for traders. बीच में थोड़ा market settle होता था, then we used to do our sales calling. After closing, we used to open accounts, do the accounting, and we used to go back home. So started with a team of three, gradually scaled up. Uh, Now we are like 70 strong, and we are doing almost like 1% of the overall market turnover.
So, Shrey, you started WeWork before WeWork started,
Yeah.
and
We work for traders.
We work for traders.
ended up in a business where there's this big gorilla, and the gorilla is called Zerodha. Does Zerodha scare you?
I think every aspiring entrepreneur should look at the Zerodha story to sort of learn from them, the kind of business that they have built and how they've built. Um, as I mentioned, I think the initial inspiration to start this came out of Zerodha, and it's just that our focus is towards pro traders who do this for a living, and that's the segment that we cater to. In terms of the tools, the service, the basic as the risk management policies that we have. So we are well suited for a pro trader.
You say you took inspiration from Zerodha, Zerodha being what it has become today. What was the motivation to be like, okay, yes, even though this exists, we can still carve our own niche here and do 1% of the total market turnover?
So I think when we started, I mean, Zerodha was not the Zerodha that we know right now. Um, they had also started out probably 2 years before, um, and gained some bit of traction. But the way they were approaching, pricing, customer service, and the whole idea of trading, I think, was very new and disruptive in itself. Um, Further, fast forward, if you're asking, say today, I feel if you have your target clientele and your USPs and your focus very clear, I think there's a space for everyone in today's market. um, so one just has to be very clear about the clients that you're catering to, what is your target segment. And as I mentioned, so I mean, we are very interested in the pro trading space. So we feel that being profitable is not only good for the trader but more for us, because profitable traders are the ones who sort of keep on trading and keep giving us brokerage like month on month. So yeah.
So, guys, we had Shrey's employee with us during our introduction call, right? And she was speaking to us as if Shrey is the next best thing after sliced bread. Shrey, why do your people love you so much? Why? What is your, team management skill that that person could not stop gushing over you?
So I don't know. I mean, you should see them when they are meeting me offline. But yeah, I think see, one, I am very thankful for the journey that I have had, and one big part of that is the people that we have here at Stocko. I think it's a very cohesive team. Um, we are quite aligned with what we are trying to do here, and more so, like the kind of policies, the structure that we have. Say for example, we have this 10% profit sharing in our business, where 10% of the profits are sort of shared with the whole team year on year. I think that has been a game changer. So I think my idea has always been to take care of the team, and the team takes care of the clients, traders, and further on. So uh, maybe that it comes from there. And I don't know, but I feel in a business like ours, getting that team together and sort of aligned is in itself a moat. I mean, that's what makes or breaks the business. So yeah, I think we've been very lucky that ways.
Shrey, every business sells one of three things or three of three things. It's health, it's wealth, or it's relationships. I feel that the way you talk about trading, you are trying to sell wealth, but I feel the beginning point is more health, in terms of you get to know yourself better, you get to be a better decision maker. And I used to play a lot of FPS games. FPS are first person shooter games. And apparently, those games are supposed to help me make decisions, because shooting somebody's head off will make me a better human being. There is this gamification of trading, there is this anxiety generating aspect to trading. I want to know what your experience was like when you first did it, what you went through, and why you believe it is a self actualization process.
Very interesting that you mentioned that, because the last webinar that we had was on meditation and how it helps in trading. So,
I
uh,
mean, first person shooter, meditation, same thing, no?
so I feel it is again how you take it. For example, technology, right? Uh, the social media platforms, if you talk about maybe Instagram, you could use it to your advantage, or you could be sort of addicted to Instagram. Similarly, I think in trading, there's lots uh, that is out there, uh, where uh, you are sort of pushed to take that trade, right? So I feel uh, having, say for example, these push notifications, or nudges that you call. Now one is, you can look at it in a way where they're working to your advantage, or you can let them lead you and sort of overtrade. And we always say, in our industry, where If you're over trading, now you're not working for yourself, you're working for the broker. It's just generating brokerage. So one has to be very mindful, and I feel even more to have a spiritual side to yourself, or to have a routine wherein which either you meditate, exercise. Those are buckets which sort of help you in your journey of trading. So, yeah.
Again, Nassim Taleb has another book. It's called Anti-Fragile. And it's about how humans are a system of when you put pressure on us, we come out better. So when you want to build muscle, you have to lift heavier and heavier weights. They break your muscles and you build better, right? And I feel a trader builds such emotional muscles because the sheer thing one can try is take like 10 rupees, right? Take 100 rupees and go and put it in anything, even if it doesn't mean anything to you. You'll keep seeing where is it going? Is it going up? Is it going down? Is it going up? You do the same thing with like huge money, you might not. But you put smaller money, it feels like my ego is on the line. Right? More than my money being lost, I am getting lost. My ego is going away, it's withering away. Right? My decisions are being questioned. And I can only blame myself.
Akhil, here we're talking about money, where there's actually something to lose. Today we have Snapchat streaks that people are getting. Think about, oh, my streaks are going to be breaking, or I got so many likes on a video, or I got so many views, which is literally worthless. But it is because you've put your effort behind creating that video or recording that song or taking that picture that you're like, this is my sense of, oh, did I get another like? Oh, did someone else view it? Oh, it has crossed so many hundred views or so many thousand views. So, like, I feel that is just putting a part of yourself there, right? And it's dealing with that emotional. So I remember when we started, everyone was like, "Oh my God, you guys are so brave for putting yourselves out there." And we were like, "Brave? You just two of us just putting ourselves out there."
Yeah.
That was the last thing that came to mind. But the more you hear it, the more you like, even see it, and like even it eventually caught up to us as well, where we were looking at, okay, yes, what's the metrics like? We have put this out there. What are the metrics? How do you move beyond the metrics? How do you move, like, how do you detach yourself? Is it again repetition?
So very interesting that you mentioned that. The webinar before that was on, Bhagavad Gita and the art of detachment. So I'll tell you, I've traded for quite a bit, and no more am I too excited about the money that I have made in my latest trade, or sort of sad about, maybe losing some bit of it. Um, what I'm actually excited to see is, how I had planned it, how I handled it when it went down, and how sort of it came back, and I let it be. I didn't jump off to square off my trade, and I let it grow, and now I'm maybe sitting on some bit of profit. So I think with time, you sort of detach yourself from the day to day of it, and that's probably trading nirvana, as we call it. But obviously, it's rare, takes time, and you know a lot of practice, I would say. But I think, again, to sum it up all, trading mindset is way more important than any strategy or tool that you have out there in the market.
Yeah, shit, 30, 40 years down the line, you and I are very, very old people. And we are sitting on the porch, we're like chilling, having a glass of whiskey. And you are going to say the words, अखिल यार मजा आ गया इस लाइफ में ना मैंने डैश किया और वो करने की वजह से ना खुश हूं मैं आज मैं मर गया ना कोई दिक्कत नहीं है मैं इतना खुश हूं कि मैंने ये अचीव किया व्हाट इज दैट डैश
So I'll tell you, I entered markets as a trader. We traded for ourselves. uh, 2013 we started Stocko, and it's been about 11, 12 years now, and we're building the business. um, when we started out, the firm, we were very clear, either we'll trade or we'll build the brokerage business. And I haven't traded since then, because trading is very emotionally, it takes up a lot of your time and effort. If given a chance, I feel, moving forward somewhere, I would like to become a trader myself. It's funny I say that, but I think to be able to trade and make money, I think it's one of the coolest things out there. um, I, I, I mean, there's a disclaimer here where I would like to clearly say that the new gen, especially that is coming in, the Gen Z traders, shouldn't take this lightly or a inspiration to sort of come and jump into trading. But I think it's basically being about in control, and a better version of yourself end of the day. And there is continuous learning, I feel. Market is ever changing, market is ever evolving. So yeah, let's hope.
We keep coming back to this thing of fear, not knowing what they can and jumping in, looking cool. These are things that we tend to associate a lot of things with, especially trading. If today, at the end of this podcast, someone has to walk away with one thing that you have said that is going to help them get rid of that fear, or push, like, abate that fear for now, what is that one thing you would suggest that you have done, that you would suggest to anyone who wants to get into trading to do, so that they can get rid of that fear? Or is fear useful?
I think some bit of fear is very useful, but I feel the only way to sort of overcome fear is to actually jump off that cliff and try your hands on trading. I mean, एंड में कुछ भी नहीं होगा, so you'll probably come out as a more mature individual who knows more about yourself, how you feel, how you react to different situations, and maybe a more evolved individual. Yeah.
So jump into the deep end, sink or swim. Worst case, if you sink, there's a lifeguard who's going to save you and you realize something.
So yeah, I mean, if you ask me, I mean, everybody should try their hands on to trading. um, I won't say it's not easy, but if you have the right approach, the probability that you are successful is obviously way better.
Can we reward our viewers to stick till the end? Can we have something that Stocko can give them in case they click on something in the description?
I mean, yeah. So what we are doing is we are offering first 99 trades to our traders to come on board and sort of try their hands on to trading. So I mean, can go ahead and log on to the Stocko website and check it out for themselves. Yeah.
Guys, we leave a link in the description. You can just click on the link and get started. Go on this beautiful journey for yourself. Shre, we have a thing on our podcast, a tradition per se. Our last guest has left you a question, and we would ask you to leave a question for the next guest. Now, I have a very weird question for you. If you get a day with Shah Rukh Khan, what would you do?
Here, I am in awe of Shah Rukh Khan, not as an actor, but the kind of business and cloud that he has built. So, and I always feel, in life, uh, how much sort of you can, आप कितना झेल सकते हो, your success depends on that. So I will ask him, how he sort of got where he is right now. And mm, yeah, that's it.
Basically, ask him to come on the Thought Bistro podcast so that even the viewers can watch like the conversation. We can have you on as a guest host.
That'll
Yeah,
be great.
we can have the Thought Bistro with Shrey as well.
Wow.
Shrey and Shah Rukh Khan.
SH. Lovely.
Get your question and can you sign at the bottom?